begin in Washington, where President Obama returned to the White House Sunday after a weekend at Camp David. He was hoping for a quiet couple of days to continue his 50th birthday celebration, but didn't get it. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Norah O'Donnell joins us now from D.C. this morning. Norah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right, let's talk about this weekend. Didn't start well for the president, learning that for the first time in history, our sterling AAA credit rating is out the door, and now it's just AA+. How is the White House going to spin this today?
Well, the White House is furious about this downgrade, blasting the S&P decision. The Treasury Secretary, Tim Geithner, said this was a terrible decision by the S&P, even criticizing the math that they use, saying that they overestimated the U.S. debt over the next 10 years by some $2 trillion. So they're very angry about that. The president's Democratic allies are blaming Republicans for this, calling this a quote-unquote Tea Party downgrade. The Republicans have countered by saying this shows a failure of leadership on the part of President Obama. But I think the bottom line here is that the S&P says this is part of the problem with partisan gridlock in Washington, and I think this puts more focus on August 16th. Remember that date. That's the date that those congressional leaders have to announce who's going to be on that super committee that is tasked with coming up with more spending cuts. Chris?
Let's talk about Afghanistan right now, because the news got worse, obviously, with the 30 service members who were killed as their chopper was downed in Afghanistan. This one hits home. Any death hits home, of course, but why did this particular incident really hit home for the president?
Well, I think because it's the deadliest day for American forces in Afghanistan. In this decade-long war in Afghanistan, the president sent his sympathies to the families, Americans and the Afghans killed in this crash. This is obviously something, the Afghan war is something the president is trying to draw to a close, and I think it's going to refocus decision on the president's war strategy in Afghanistan. And of course, it's just horrible for these military families who are suffering so much on this day.
Exactly. All right. CBS's Norah O'Donnell for us at the White House this morning. Norah, thank you very much.